Hi, this is Team Fly One, here to present our Hack the Map 2024 project, the Flight Carbon Calculator.
In knowing that there are millions of people that travel by plane, we wanted to create a tool that not only makes people aware of the amount of carbon emissions that their travels are creating, but also calculate the approximate carbon emissions produced by each plane flight they might take in the future. This allows people to be cognizant about the side effects of the flight travels that occur every single day that they participate in. With this tool, people can now see the amount of emissions that a specific trip emits with every airport in the world. He also took inspiration from popular flight trackers that record celebrity planes, especially surrounding recent controversies over their influence and individual carbon footprints.
So what this app does is it allows you to keep track of the CO2 emissions from all the flights you've taken, and it has a simple interface which saves your data locally. So the stack consists of HTML, CSS plus the CSS framework Bulma, JavaScript plus the JavaScript framework React, plus Node.js to build the project, Leaflet.js and OpenStreetMap for our world map, Axios for our API lookups, and these three APIs for different parts of the app. So here is the app. So as you can see, it has a very simple interface. So when I go to type in an airport, for example, Dulles, it auto-completes with airport suggestions so that you don't need to remember the code. You just need to remember the airport name. And then the same goes for the destination. And then, as you can see, the origin airport is in the blue pin here, and the destination airport is the red pin here. And that shows you the straight path. So when I click Calculate Emissions, it uses the API to tell you how much CO2 is emitted by a flight from Dulles to Beijing, and also how many trees are needed to offset that CO2. And a round trip can also be calculated by clicking this button. And you can save this info to the total, which is stored in your browser. So even if I close this tab and reopen it, the total is still there. So I can add one more trip. And add this to the total as well. And then I can clear the total by clicking Clear Total.
One challenge we faced while creating the program was making sure the airports were correctly located. For example, London Airport being found in India at one point in time. Related to that issue, we had to correctly find and then install all the API modules that we used to produce the program, and fitting them together was a struggle for a bit. Throughout the hackathon, we learned how to find readily available APIs to give us the tools needed to create the app. And we are proud that we created a simple and easy to use app within the day that can calculate the total emissions per each theoretical plane flight. Looking to the future, it would be nice if we could implement more options for the user to have. Of course, with the time we were given, it was difficult to add everything we wanted to during the hackathon proper. But one thing we wanted to implement was more ways to offset the carbon emissions, which would be helpful for the user to be aware of, not only for their own concern and awareness of their own life, but also for the environment of the world. For example, we discussed having a button that links the user to a page where they could personally buy trees to offset their carbon emissions, or pay for a trustworthy company to do it for them. We also plan to add a multitude of different units or measurements for carbon emissions for different users for better understanding of how to utilize this tool. Something else we considered implementing was adding other types of transportation, like cars, trains, ships, or other carbon-emitting vehicles, to accommodate those who do not travel on planes, and to play around with seeing how the carbon emissions of different vehicles compare to one another. These additions would positively impact the tool and provide a greater experience to the general users. Additionally, we attempted but decided against having user databases to allow users to come back to the application much later and have their data saved and reloaded, even days or weeks afterwards, which would be much more useful with all the theoretical features we considered having, but it would have taken too much time to implement. However, this is something that we could add at a later point in time. Thank you for watching.